Hey guys, sorry about the lighting. I didn't have enough time to find a study room because someone is using up all the time. But it's okay. I found somewhere to film. Um, there's this one thing about the hiring process that people tend to ignore. Okay, you have the hiring process which um, hires people with a degree, people who have experience. Certain jobs don't require you to have that much. Um, if little, if any at all. Um, I'll wait till everybody gets on, and but I'm pretty sure you're on now. So I'm just gonna start talking. If you just tuned in, then you know, rewind it, or whatever you want to do. Watch it later. Um, but one issue I do have with the hiring process, um, you're not gonna find this at a corporation or at a large franchise organization that hires like bosses or managers. However, it does happen sometimes. But I've been trying to talk about this for a while, but let me just get straight into it, okay? And I hate to categorize this for some employers, but I have to say it. I mean, this is really what's happening. Okay, ghetto workers do not need to work with good-hearted people. I'm sorry I had to put it that way. Um, Not saying, well, not saying that good-hearted people can't be ghetto, but when you're at when you're at work, you may bring some characteristics with you that you've gotten from home, maybe. And we all know that when you're at a workplace, some of the characteristics that is kind of what they call slang or hood like, or maybe what they call real or down to earth. This is fine, it's okay. But when it comes to you being professional, you may want to consider changing up the way you speak a little bit. Maybe the ghetto-ness might be insulting to some people. I mean, it's okay. A little bit of ghetto is funny. Everyone knows that. Nobody wants to be proper all the time because that's not how you feel inside. Especially people were raised differently, so it's fine. Doesn't matter how you act, just as long as you have the right type of spirit, like I talked about before. Okay. Now let me just get straight to the other side. However, I have encountered some employees. Um, they may say, they may call it ratchet. That's a word I've heard people use instead of the word ghetto. Um, it basically it basically means the same thing. Um, a lot of people would categorize the word ghetto as a black thing, as in the culture of a person, the color, categorized by an African American. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm just going to say it. You already know this already. It's not rocket science. Um, but what I really disliked is like, okay, like sometimes when I go to, let's say, a restaurant, maybe a McDonald's or um, convenience store, grocery store, people, any place. Um, for instance, I'm going to use, I hate to do this because they're going to watch this later, but oh well, they probably won't. But I'm pretty sure they will. If they do, hey, I didn't have to say anything else. Um, I want to use the Weaver House as an example. I hate to do this, but I really don't at the same time. Okay, remember when I was telling you about how you can say whatever you want to someone just as long as you say it in a way that they won't be offended by it? Remember I had that conversation with you the other day? The other day, if I can speak correctly. Um, it's just a lot of ghetto-ness that's going on around. Like, it's just not professional at all. You can be ghetto and funny and stuff like that at home and a little bit at work, just a little bit. But when it's time to get down to business and your job is depending on it, and not just um, the fact that you have to go to work every day. I mean, you're the only one that's going to be dealing with it. It's not a problem to you. It's going to be a problem for the people who have class and morals and self-worth. Not saying you don't have any morals or class or self-worth, but I am saying that it kind of diminishes um, your characteristic when you do that. You say for instance, well, let me just say it like this, okay? If you're at a facility that is housing residents, let's say a shelter, for instance, okay, and or a school, I'm gonna say a school. Let me just say a school. Um, let's say a fight breaks out, and you're yelling at the person that's fighting, and you're also yelling at the other person that's fighting, but neither one of you did the right thing by calling someone for help when it could get worse, or you're kind of encouraging the situation. Like, that to me is just plain out, flat out ghetto. If you it's just unprofessional. Okay, I have seen this action in a lot of African Americans. There are some ghetto white people out there in other race. Color has nothing to do with it. I promise to God, color has nothing to do with it at all. But there's a certain type of characteristic that you have that you may want to consider changing up for not just other people, but for yourself, kind of vice versa, a little bit both ways. Um, I have to just be honest. I mean, I'm honest with you anyway, but I have had over 13 jobs in my entire life so far, and I've had some times where I was actually forced to work with individuals who carried that type of hood-like mentality in a professionalized workplace with rules and regulations and order. Um, it was a little bit difficult because now you know how to act responsibly, you know how to speak to people in a proper way, and you're forced to work with someone who doesn't have that type of skill. Now you have to monetize your own peace, because that's what it is at the end of the day. You need to be at peace, and notice that when you come into a workplace, there's workplace relationship and ethics. Okay, people come there from all type of backgrounds, no matter if it was from another country, they speak different languages, or so on and so on. But if you already know how to be respectful and be proper and know when to settle a confrontation or dispute without violence, or anything that's going to make anyone feel uncomfortable, good for you. That's really, really good. That's a gift that you have. But what if someone was working at a temp agency, and of course we all know that temp agencies don't really care about backgrounds and things like that. Some of them do, and then some of them don't. But you have to realize that some people, if not all, are going to be forced to work with someone that they don't want to work with. Now, why is that? Can you please tell me why that is? I need to adjust this camera. Okay, I'm going to talk to you from right here. I'm sorry I had to say that, but I mean, you guys, it is not comfortable to work with a person who does not know how to act mature. Okay. And yeah. I highly doubt that you will be successful if you do not change the way you see things. Um, Believe it or not, people have feelings whether you want to realize it or not. Excuse me while I adjust this camera. I'm trying to get some a better angle so it can charge and it won't die on me. It had like 15%. And this thing's really hot too, so I hope it don't melt. Okay, is this okay? Um, just understand that whenever you apply for a job, make sure that you ask your hiring manager, the assistant, whoever it is, if you can take a tour of the place so you can know. Because I'm the type of person that can read spirits. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not the only one. Some people are gifted just like that too. And if you can't read spirits, then you're going to be taking a risk of putting your all into a workplace where people may not be as trusted as you wished it to be. And you're going to be taking your chances. But I've taken my chances. We've all taken our chances, especially if you work. Um, I've taken my chances, and I had no choice because it was the first job open, and I really needed the money, of course. We all got to make a living out there. But um, I would literally ask the hiring manager if you can just take a tour of the place because you need to be seeing. And it's not for you to just go there and say, I'm not going to work with this person because um, I don't like the way this person looked at me and this, and the third. At the end of the day, that's where I'm going, okay? If you go into a workplace and you walk around and your hiring manager says, well, this is the place where they cook, or this is a place where we put the cleaning supplies in, I would like for you to meet such and such, okay? If you don't get any good vibe from any of the people that you walk around with and that you actually encounter, I would actually try to, just find something else. It's just not going to work out for you. I mean, if you want it to be that way, you want to take your chances, go right on ahead. I've had millions of jobs, and I know now to just go ahead and just have a tour of the place to see who I'm going to be working with. I hate to classify as ghetto, but 9 times out of 10, okay, it's not going to work out, but it can. It really can work out for you. It's really funny because not many people think about that type of stuff. They just take their risk and they just go on to work, and they end up having to be fired for something they didn't even understood why they were being fired. They encounter with different problems at work, and this is why they try to encourage you to actually work from home. Why not work from home? You don't like working out there in different places and having issues and having to be fired from work? Get on YouTube. Okay, start your own business or something. Find other ways to make money online so you can make money while you're sleeping. Find other things that you can do. Be creative. There's something that you can create or sell. It's lots of things you can do on the internet. So there's really no reason for you to really stress over it because you're starting a business with literally nothing, you guys. Literally. If you don't know how to go out there and multitask on social media, or find something that you're really skilled in doing, and try to make a business out of it. I don't really know where your other options would come from unless you like hit the lottery or have someone in the family that can just give you, or you link up with someone, you marry someone who is taking care of you. But wouldn't you want to be settled within yourself first before you try to get anything from someone else? Unless you're a woman and you have a man that doesn't want you to work, which is fine because he provides everything for you. That is absolutely fine. But then when you're at home, you can still be making money online even when he's at work and you're at home. You see what I'm saying? Then you don't have to worry about going to work, getting fired, okay? Having to deal with the different women that's upset with you because they're jealous or whatnot, they look better or whatnot, or somebody's man or whatever. You have the right to stay at home. You have the right to make your money online, not asking anyone for anything. But back to what I was saying, ghetto workers should not be working with good-hearted people. A good-hearted person, 9 times out of 10, they aren't ghetto. I'm not going to classify them as ghetto. They might do a little bit of something that might be classified as ghetto, but it's funny. Like it's something that, you know, they're not harmful people. When I say ghetto, I mean those are the type of people who have literally, like, I don't know where their morals are. I don't know where the characteristics came from. At the end of the day, it's however they were brought up. Okay, either they was raised by their family, they were acting the same way, or whoever they were around were the same way. It could be a mental disability, who knows? But ghetto is ghetto, and nobody wants to work in a field. Now, some people do want to work in the field with other ghetto people because they like it and they are ghetto themselves. Okay. But my thing is that you get a lot of good-hearted people who aren't acting ghetto, who are forced to work with ghetto people, and the good workers actually take their things and they quit and they leave the job. Now you don't have a good worker anymore. Now you're stuck with the ghetto person that you hired, because for what reason? It's really not making any sense. I hate to classify as that, but I have encountered that some people are ghetto. Okay. Sorry. I really apologize, you guys. I really do, but I had to say it. Um, Now, how can you heal that process and protect your workers if you really care about them? Let the ghetto people work with the ghetto people. Let the classy people work with the classy people. Hello. Stop mixing them together, because the good people with sense are leaving, and now you're stuck with working with people who are BSing the entire time at a workplace. You know what I'm saying? They're coming for the money. They don't care about how proper or how other people feel, the customers feel. They're just there to make money and just do and be a hot mess. That's why good workers leave and go do their own thing. Now you're stuck with whoever you have because nobody wants to work with your company. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry it has to be that way, but I've had multiple jobs where they hired just literally anybody. Anybody. Made no sense at all. You know? So if you want to make some changes, I mean, start thinking about that. Ghetto workers should not work with good hearted people. You're not a good hearted person. I'm sorry. Okay, if you are ghetto all the time, that means that you don't even have feelings for other people because you find being disruptive and out of line and speaking your mind 100%, even if it's going to insult somebody, you find that entertaining. So you need to be working with someone who also finds that entertaining and see how that environment works out. You know what I'm saying? Because why would you feel like you deserve a title of a good-hearted person who can act the same way as they are, but know when to change up their attitude whenever they're in the workplace? I want you to just think about that for a minute, and I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna wait. Okay? Take your time. I'm sorry if you were brought up that way, but here's the opportunity for you to change. However your parents acted, however you were brought up, if can you see yourself going anywhere in the future with the same type of job that you have, the attitude, you know? Do you feel bad that other people are going ahead of you and you're still stuck in the same position? Why? Oh, is it because other people know how to act? But I thought the way you were acting was the correct way. I thought it was what they call being real. Yeah, real stupid is what it's being called. Non-classy and not humble is what it's being called. You will never, ever, ever, ever in your life see me working someplace anymore. Okay? That was long ago. Even when I was actually working at these different places, some places was had some actual decent people there. I never choose a job where I cannot see myself working in there. That's one of the biggest mistakes people make. They just work anywhere, but they don't even see themselves working there. They need the money, and then they don't last long, or they have no good information to say about the job. Now, if everyone in the workplace was orderly, respectful, had morals, respected other people, knew how to speak to different individuals, their tone was right, they carried themselves in a very humble way. They didn't have any issues. They won't have any issues, people that work in things like that. But when you have issues at work, somebody is being either too ghetto or somebody's showing favoritism. You make the decision. That's it for me. I got a phone call, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.